Hey everybody, it's Joric. Welcome back. Hope you're doing great wherever you are in the world. It's going to be maybe a little longer video, but I thought this would be a great one for you to hear. A Zoom conversation, a group chat or call that I had last week with almost 30 people who are living in Portugal, and their NHR is expiring either this year or next year based upon when they moved. Almost everybody that on that call moved in late 2014 to late 2015. And all of them were on D7 visas. And to take you back to what Portugal was like in 2015, properties and rents were much less, of course. A decade ago, you would expect that they would be. But also, for those of you interested in going to Portugal, if you've recently moved there, you may not realize that the D7 visa, if you applied for the NHR status, it was 0%, not 10% for 10 years, but 0% for 10 years. So people that were finding out Portugal was a cool place to live and retire long before the rest of us were figuring out to move there, that 10 years is expiring and then starting to expire. And I wanted to get on this chat because I had talked to several of them when we lived there, and I said, what are you going to do after NHR? And no one really was talking about it. We'll cross that bridge when we come to it. Often that was the answer. But I was able to communicate with several of them, and I said, hey, if we have a Saturday where we can do the time change and I can get on a call, could we all have like 30 minutes to an hour to talk about what you're going to do? It's the only question I want to ask is, now that NHR is going to expire, are you staying or are you leaving Portugal? So as I'm pulling it up, I'm talking to you, but I'm also looking at my list here. So there were 29 people on the phone call. It's not a big representative sample, but it's significant because they were all, like I said, late 2014 to 2015. And of those individuals, 28 of the 29 are looking for other places to live in and around the world. Some are moving back to their home countries, but there was one person out of that group that said, yeah, I'm committed. I didn't have to pay any taxes. So now if I got to pay some taxes here and pay some taxes to my home country, I'm fine with that. I'm good. But everyone else is moving or in the process of getting residency someplace else. Many of them have the Portuguese citizenship, but they may move someplace else now that they have that passport. And even if they do that, you may say, well, residency, you still have to get residency. So let's say you have your citizenship in Portugal and you're going to move to Italy. You still have to become a resident there. You can't just move. So almost everyone is going to move once the NHR is done for them. And in one particular case, the person said, yeah, it's expiring. So we've already figured out our plan B. And what I'm curious about, for those of you that got in with the old NHR, whether it was at 0% for D7 retired or 10%, now that that is gone away, what are you thinking about at the 10-year mark? Did you already plan and budget for that, knowing that you're going to stay after 10 years? Are you thinking, well, I'm not sure if I'm going to be alive in 10 years, so it doesn't matter? Or if you're going, Joric, it's too soon for us to figure that out. We haven't thought that far ahead. We just want to enjoy Portugal, live in Portugal, and experience it while we have this 10% cap. And then we'll figure it out maybe in year 8 or 9 if we want to stay or if we don't. And who knows what will happen. Many things can happen in the country and around the world between now and then. And that's certainly true. But I'm curious, again, for those of you looking to move or have recently moved, do you have a long-range vision for Portugal, or will you be there through the tax incentives, and once those go away or dry up, then you're going to move someplace else, or you'll move back? I'm always curious what subscribers have to say, or even if you're not subscribing, if you're just commenting, please comment, because it's interesting to know that, because this prevailing sentiment when people were moving pre-pandemic, were moving for good. Even after they're, at the time, 0% D7, the NHR for the passive income was 0%. We're staying even afterwards. And for some of them, they were going, well, we're saving a lot of tax money along the way, so we're kind of saving that for when we do hit year 11 and 12 and 15, and we'll be paying something to the government, depending on what property they have, where their investments are, things of that nature. But it doesn't hurt to think about that and have that in the back of your head, because at some point you don't get that extended. It does go away, and as you know, the NHR has changed greatly just in recent year. So what are you going to do? And or do you just say, okay, it's one more reason why I maybe have Portugal in the no column, but I have another country or a few more countries in the yes column. Again, most of the videos I make are on Portugal. Over time, I'm probably going to need to start making videos about other countries that more people are interested in. But for those of you that are interested in Portugal or moved, what say you? I'd like to know. Please leave a comment below, and as always, enjoy your travels.